Hello. Um, so I drew something crazy concept, I know. Um, and it's White Diamond from Steam Universe, and it is inspired by this picture I found on Pinterest because who doesn't love scrolling through Pinterest and finding random draw or like random images and being like, ooh, that eats. But anyways, so um baller, bro. I don't. So, as you can tell, I started the drawing before I started recording, but that's because I had no intentions of actually making this a drawing. Like, I originally was going to doodle my VTuber, like I was doing in my last drawing that I posted. However, I looked at Pinterest and I was like, oh, stop. Because I was like, the image I showed earlier, that was like one of the first things I showed up on my Pinterest feed. And I was like, oh my god, this would look so good with White Diamond. Like the three heads. And then, like, obviously, you can tell who's in the back of her head by using context clues. So, but I have that idea and I was like, ooh, this looks, ooh, yes. Um, so, you know, and I have a few thoughts on like how this AU would be. And I'm going to share it because there's no saying if I'll finish this or if I'll do the other diamonds. Like I want to. Like I want to, but knowing me, like I'll be like, "Oh, yes, let's do it." And then something else will like catch my eye and I'll be like, "Oh, I want to draw that instead." And then completely forget about it. So, I know myself, so I am not going to be like, "That's a tale for another day." No, I don't care. But like the entire thought process, and I haven't thought about this in depth. I was just kind of like, being like, "Ooh, what if this happened and this happened?" while I was drawing it. Anyways, the entire thought process is that White Diamond created the other diamonds. I know in like lore, yeah, if I'm correct, in lore she didn't create them. She was created alongside them, but she took up kind of like the ownership role. If I'm correct, I could be totally fucking wrong, but the entire thought process is that when she created the other diamonds, like they kind of not like fused with her, but like their subconscious kind of integrated into her, and it kind of represents the control she has over the diamonds. So obviously she has blue and yellow on her, and I ended up switching it so that it was more accurate to like, the insignia. I don't know, like the symbol. But like it kind of shows that she has some sort of control over them. She doesn't have full control, but she has a level of control. And like obviously pink is on the back of her head. And I'm not entirely sure in this AU I would keep like the rebellion. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know. Cuz I think it'd be interesting if there wasn't or there was. I don't know. I think it'd both be interesting on both concepts. But if the rebellion did happen in this scenario, I feel like White used it as a kind of like a learning lesson to the other diamonds and also her subjects. Nobody knows that Pink was rose quartz, only she did. And like when she and the other diamonds obliterated Earth, or quote unquote obliterated Earth, uh she was like, this is what happens when you disobey. Like, when you disobey me, consequences happen. And, it was like a learning lesson. And she was thinking that, like, once that happened, Pink would come back and then she would deal with, consequences of Pink and all that, yada, yada, yada. But she didn't, and so she was like, whatever, she'll be back eventually. She's kind of like a neglectful mom where she just doesn't really give a fuck. She's just like, she'll be back and she'll deal with the consequences later. But obviously that didn't happen. But honestly, she didn't give a fuck. She was more like, well, that was your lesson. to the other diamonds, being like, get your shit together. But I mean, that's really the only lore I have. Like, yeah. I don't, I haven't fully in depth thought about this. Like, I don't know if, like, I do want to do the rebellion or if I don't. I just think it's interesting concept. And I try to make the designs as vague as possible, because even this, I don't know if I want this to be, like, white diamonds design. It was just something that I saw, and I was like, oh, that would look cool. And I try to make it as vague as possible, because I don't know how I want to do yellow diamond. I don't know how I want to do blue diamond. I also, like, I haven't finished it yet, but I have, like, a design that I made of pink diamond, and I can probably show, like, the in progress picture at the end of the video of, like, how that looks like at the moment. And it's just, in this AU, I want it to be more prevalent, or, like, more obvious that they are rocks and not just, you know, yellow or, like, blue aliens. I want it to be more obvious that they are rocks. And so in the drawing, you can kind of see that I've drew, like, inside of the crystals, you know, like when you open up, like, a geode, there's all those crystals. I kind of wanted to make it look like that, because I want it to be obvious. And so I was thinking that, like, the diamonds will have some of those on them. So obviously for white, it's where the other diamond's heads are appearing on her. So it's kind of like, you know, it's like a mask. And on pink diamonds, I have hers on her neck. So it's, like, in her neck. But, I mean, I'm not entirely sure where I would put yellows. I think I'd probably put it on her face somewhere. Blues, honestly, I haven't thought about it. I have no idea. I don't know where I would put hers. It'd be cool if I put it on her, her eyes. It'd be cool if I keep saying it'd be cool, but whatever. I don't know, because now I'm thinking about an old AU that I had. And also, I want to make a notice, or make it known, I have no script for this, so I am just rambling. Winky face, hard eyes, I don't know. But I had an old Steven Universe AU, alternate universe, where it was, like, the diamonds. Because, like, back when the show was ending, it was, like, that was, like, the peak of Steven Universe fandom, like, artists. There was a lot of, diamond AUs. So, like, a lot of people were making, like, new diamonds and, like, different kinds of ideas for them. And I had that. Mine didn't get popular, but honestly, I was just happy because I thought my thing was cool. But I had mine based off of Speak No Evil, See No Evil, you know, Hear No Evil, all that stuff. And so now I'm thinking, I'm like, ooh, what if? Because I know to a lot of people, the Hear No Evil would be kind of hard because, I mean, gems don't have ears. However, I don't care. And I give them elf ears. Because who doesn't like elf ears? Like, they're so cool. And obviously, sorry, this is off topic, but I made a little homeworld, like, tiny homeworld on her, like, little, I keep trying to say crown, thank you. I had no words. But I don't know. I wanted to bring that to notice because, like, it looks so good. But, like, I don't know. Maybe it would be interesting to bring that back because with my old AU, it was magenta diamond, teal diamond, orange diamond, and black diamond. And, magenta was See No Evil. She was in place of blue. Teal was in place of yellow. Teal was Speak No Evil. Orange was Hear No Evil, but the plot twist was that orange was actually evil. But, you know, I never actually got to go into that. And then black was just, quote unquote, evil, but she wasn't. And because I'm autistic and I love things with wings. I gave them wings because I was like, "Ee, this is so cool." And I gave, because I drew some gems, I gave more of the gems more animalistic traits. But enough about that, because we're not talking about this. I don't know. I'm just starting to ramble about that, because honestly, that AU has a special place in my heart. But, I don't know. If I do decide to draw the other diamonds, I'm gonna try and make a more, like, definitive design for them, not just be like, this might be it, you know? But, anyways, I have an idea. The, the thing is I don't know what I would do for Yellow's hair, because I'm not enjoying her hair. But everybody does, like, oh, her hair's actually a helmet. Oh my god. I don't know. I find that interesting, but I feel like it's a little overused. And that nothing's wrong with doing that if you do want to do that. It's just personally I want to try and steer away from that. But the thing is that I also want to kind of make her feminine. Even though she's not very feminine in the show, but I want it to be like she's feminine, but she is also a warrior, but not in a sexualizing way. Like, you can be feminine and strong and a warrior all at the same time. But I'm not entirely sure how I would want to make that for her. But we shall see. We'll see if I do it. I'm not sure how I would. If I finish the pink diamond drawing, I did not record for the pink diamond drawing, so unfortunately there will not be a video on that. I mean, there'll be a video on my TikTok because I can record like the little speed paint stuff, but like on here where it's actually recording me draw, there won't be, because I forget to do that. But there will be on TikTok, and maybe I'll make like a little short, or I'll make just a compilation of different drawings that I did not record and just post it. I don't know, maybe. We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing half the time when I make these videos. I don't know how to, I don't know what music to put on here. I'm new at this. I'm just balling. Oh, I tried with the background. I really did. I was like being like, maybe if I do this, blah 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 blah. But at some point you could just tell I give up because it's so fucking irritating and I just wanted this drawing done. But it's whatever. This like last bit of me drawing was about like an hour and a half long. Like, I think I started this around like 3 o'clock, and I only finished it maybe 20 minutes ago, so about like 5. So it took about like 2 hours. It took forever just for me to I spent so much time on these thrones just for you to not even be able to see it at all, and then I spent so much time on the background just for me to hate it. But I am gonna have to look at videos on how people do backgrounds and make it look good, because like a lot of people are like, I see a lot of people are like, oh yeah, like the less detail the better it is, because like it's not your main focal point. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but then it gets down to actually doing it, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. So I just have to learn to not put so much detail into things that are not the focal point, which is gonna be difficult for me. But it's whatever. We shall see. Oh, I had to change the background a little bit because I realized you could barely see blue, because I, of course, made the background blue because I have to. It's a pretty color. And then I swapped it. Obviously. Anyways, here's the drawing. Finished drawing. So, I hope you enjoy. Here is the pink drawing that I said I was gonna show at the end. Um, I drew this before I even started on like this drawing. Before I think I started that before I even started the drawing that I posted before. So, but I hope you enjoy. I'll probably post this on TikTok. Well, a shortened version, obviously. But I hope you enjoy. Um, bye bye.